Now that I've had a taste of freedom these last 3 weeks here in Bangkok, I almost feel like I would rather live in a shack and have control over my day than have to go back to America and get a job, even though I was making great money. It's funny to me. When I was in America, I was making 160 grand, which is a lot. And to me, and to a lot of Americans, and to a lot of people in the world. And I had all these luxuries. I had a great Tesla. It drove me around. I had a nice apartment, overpriced couch, multiple TVs, food delivery, Amazon Prime, everything delivered to my door. Basically, I lived like a king. Like literally, I had everything delivered. I had every modern luxury. There's that book. What is it called? Like a Rational Optimism or something. They talk about how the average American lives comparable to a king. But I would say, if you're making six figures, you lived better than a king 200-300 years ago. And I was so miserable because I didn't have the most important thing: control over my time. That to me is the pinnacle of happiness. Control over my time, how I spend my day. I didn't realize it till I got out of it. How rushed I was. Everything was just rushed. I'd wake up and I have to do X, Y, and Z. I need to meditate. I need to stretch. I need to, maybe I want to play Battlefield before work. Oh, I gotta go to work. And then I have to sit in traffic. Essentially, like your cortisol just spikes, immediately upon awakening. Again, Saturday was really that only day you'd wake up without an alarm, and I would sleep better. It's honestly sad. Like but I can't imagine doing that for 30 years. Now I realize I was in a fortunate position. I had saved money, and I can come here and take a shot. But I see 20-year-old YouTubers traveling the world right now, so I'm sure anything's possible. And don't worry, I'm not going to sell you a course on how to break out of the system. I have zero interest in that. It's really just money without autonomy is so meaningless. I know there's some old research back in the day. It's like after a certain amount of money, this was maybe 8 years ago. I think they said like 75,000. It doesn't do anything. That number's probably a little higher now with inflation, but to me, money is a tool to remove problems and buy time. Now, if I can live out here in a lot less money that buys my time, then that's good. Again, though, I mean, I had a 1,200 square foot apartment, which is the biggest apartment I've ever had, and I thought it was too much. It was actually the first time I bought my own furniture too, and I didn't like it. I don't know. Maybe I'm weird. I don't want to own all this stuff. It just feels like you're tethered to something. And I didn't like the city I was living in, so I wanted to get out of there. But then I had all the crap. That's another reason, at least for now, I have no desire to go back. I don't want to own stuff. I have no interest in a house, a car. I mean, think about a car is such an exuberant expense. And I'm sure a significant percentage of Americans, I don't know the exact data, but they're taking out loans and they're paying interest on it. Fortunately, Tesla gave a 0% loan, so winning, but not really. This was like almost a $60,000 car, which I could basically live out here for 60 grand. I could live out here for like 2 years, over 2 years on 60 grand. 2 years of time versus something I need to go sit in traffic to go work at a job where I didn't have much autonomy. It's wild. And then the notion of owning a house is such, I think it's BS because you don't really own it. In the sense that the overwhelming percentage of Americans, you're getting a loan. So actually the bank owns it, because if you stop paying it, the bank takes it. So you don't really own it. Basically, and then even when you do pay it, if you don't pay your property taxes, they take it away. So essentially you're leasing the house from the government. You're leasing the house from the bank at first, and then you lease the house from the government. Like, this notion of ownership is, I think, an illusion. Like, I own this shirt, and no one can take this shirt from me. Well, the government's not gonna come. Anyways, I digress. I just didn't want to own a bunch of stuff. To me, it just feels, I don't know, almost suffocating. Because I had remembered when I had, left the country before, I lived off one suitcase. It was a big suitcase, but it was still one suitcase. It just felt nice. I have 2 carry-ons now, but still. The most important thing, though, is, like, I realized how important it is to have control of your time. That was what makes me happy. Again, I don't strive for happiness. I strive to remove the obstacles getting in the way of my happiness. Or I strive to remove obstacles that just piss me off. I was waking up at 5. I think I got done with everything probably around 5. So 12 hours. I give 12 hours every day in exchange for Saturday and Sunday. Oh, man. I don't know the meaning of life. I don't know why we're here. I don't know what happens after. I don't think that we are here just to clock in and be a good worker bee for 30 years. It's interesting because you're never going to get rid of problems either. Like, when I came back from Thailand the first time at 30, my problems were I need to get my own place. I need to get my what together. I need to get a career. And then I get the career, and you get there and you're like, oh, this is it. That's the funny part about life. Where you work so hard for something and you get there and you're like, wow, I don't have any time now. And your problem then is like, okay, how do I just survive? That's what it kind of felt like. Survive was a little dramatic, but it's how do I get through this? And initially I was like, okay, I was going to do it for X amount of years. So, because they were paying for my student loans. But it was just taking a toll on my body. Literally. I was waking up, I was like just tossing and turning, knowing I had to get up early. Whereas on Saturday and Sunday, I could sleep more. I started to get, and this is TMI, I started to get really bad like diarrhea towards the end of it. I was just like chronically fight or flight mode. I had gastrointestinal issues, which I'm still dealing with, but I have gotten a little bit better since being here. My sleep has gotten so much better here. My diarrhea is gone. I didn't realize how tense I was. And I didn't even have a bad commute. I mean, I can't imagine if someone is driving, I read on like subreddits and things like that, like people about jobs like commuting. I can't imagine being in like bumper to bumper traffic for an hour each way a day. Like, I didn't have it that bad and I was still miserable. And I recognize that. Maybe my tolerance for, I don't know, maybe my annoyance threshold is lower than some people. It probably is. I find myself easily annoyed. That was another thing. I was like getting increasingly irritable. I just wasn't happy. I was dating a girl at the time, and I was just, she's like, how's your week? And I was like, oh. That was life. Oh my gosh. Now my biggest problem is, okay, what do I want to do with my free time today? I mean, again, I work in the mornings. That's a great problem to have. And I think that in life, you're never not going to have problems, but I strive to have better problems. And I'm not saying this to brag. I'm saying, like, it was really eye-opening to me. I don't want to live like that. If I don't have autonomy, I have nothing. If I don't have my time, I have nothing. And obviously I don't know your unique situation on how you get more time, but I am confident there's a way. Because for so long when I was working that job, I didn't think there was any other solution. And I got to a breaking point where I was so miserable, I felt like I physically couldn't go back. I was almost feeling like I was having like a mental breakdown. Like I was so depressed. And then I found a way. So just when you think, what is that? The cheesy darkest before dawn, just when you think there's no other option, there is an option. You just haven't found it yet. This applies to anything, jobs, work, relationships, whatever problem you're facing right now, there is a solution. When we get stressed and depressed though, our area of focus constricts. Because stress can cloud judgment. As stress increases, it clouds judgment. As, depression and anxiety increase, it's going to cloud judgment. And again, I've said this, but I don't think, life outside of America or overseas is all hunky and dory. There's a host of issues. And you do need money. Money is important. You do need a certain amount of money, like health issues, emergencies, things like that. Money is important. Money solves money problems. But beyond that, it doesn't make you happy. Again, I wasn't a millionaire, but 160K. I felt like I made it. It was a lot of freaking money to me. Completely miserable though, which taught me, wow, okay, if money's not the solution, what is? Autonomy and time. I choose how I spend my day now, and I have the time to do so. And I understand that is an immense luxury, and I'm not saying that to brag. I am truly freaking grateful. I almost feel like I don't deserve this on some level. I feel almost guilty. And I have felt guilty here. I know that's my own crap. I mean, I felt guilty, walking around here, seeing some of the people struggle here. I recognize I won the genetic lottery being born a white male in America, in a middle-class neighborhood. I don't take that lightly, truly, especially being here. I realize how freaking lucky we have it, especially in America. Even the poor in America are rich compared to the poor here, I'll tell you that. And I recognized this last time. I mean, you talk to people who have so little, materialistically speaking, but they're so warm and kind and caring. I almost just feel like a piece of crap that I can complain about. I almost feel like a piece of crap now complaining about it. Because it's such a luxury for me to complain about my 160K job, isn't it? With that being said, problems are subjective. And, that was just my experience working at that job. But I make this video because it was just kind of a realization to me that, wow, now that I have a taste of this, I will do anything not to go back. I will do anything to make it work wherever I am. I'm not going to be in Thailand long term. I'm going to be bouncing around a bit. I might stay in Thailand long term. I don't know. Probably not Bangkok though, because the air pollution. Like right now, it's okay, but I digress. But whatever it is, if I have freedom of my time, then I'm okay. I truly hope that you can find a way to have more autonomy, because it's important as humans.